In the heart of Ukraine, nestled in the shadow of the infamous Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant, lies a city that time forgot. Pripyat, once a thriving community of nearly 50,000 souls, now stands as a haunting testament to the catastrophic events that unfolded on April 26, 1986. On that fateful day, the quiet hum of daily life was shattered by an explosion that would forever change the course of history and leave an indelible mark on the landscape of human tragedy. As dawn broke on that spring morning, the residents of Pripyat went about their routines, blissfully unaware of the horror that was about to unfold. Children laughed on their way to school, workers prepared for another day at the nearby power plant, and the city buzzed with the promise of a bright future. But in the early hours, a safety test at Reactor 4 of the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant went catastrophically wrong. The disaster unfolds at 1:23 a.m. A series of explosions rocked the facility, sending a plume of radioactive material into the atmosphere. The reactor core was exposed, spewing deadly particles into the air, casting an invisible shroud of death over Pripyat and the surrounding areas. For 36 hours, life in the city continued as normal, the residents oblivious to the invisible danger that permeated every breath they took. Firefighters rushed to the scene, unaware of the true nature of the disaster they faced. Alexander Yushchenko, one of the survivors, described a surreal sight. Once I stepped out and looked up towards the reactor hall, I saw a very beautiful laser-like beam of blue light caused by the ionized air glow that appeared to be flooding up into infinity. It wasn't until April 27th that the order came: evacuate. In a matter of hours, the entire population of Pripyat was uprooted, told to pack only essential items for what they believed would be a temporary absence of 3 days. Buses lined the streets, their engines idling as families climbed aboard, leaving behind homes, possessions, and the lives they had built. Eyewitness accounts paint a picture of confusion and fear. One survivor, Ludmila Ignitenko, whose husband was a firefighter at the scene of the disaster, recalled the chaos. We were told to take only what was necessary, but how do you decide what's necessary when your whole life is being left behind? As the convoy of buses departed, few realized they were seeing their homes for the last time. The city of Pripyat, once alive with the sounds of children playing and the bustle of daily life, fell silent, its streets empty save for the whisper of wind through abandoned buildings. A city frozen in time today, Pripyat stands as a chilling time capsule, a snapshot of Soviet life in the 1980s frozen at the moment of its abandonment. Dolls lie scattered in kindergarten classrooms, their plastic eyes staring blankly at walls adorned with fading murals. Books rot on library shelves, their pages turning to dust, holding stories that will never be read again. The city's most iconic structure, the Ferris wheel in the amusement park, stands as a rusting sentinel, a grim reminder of the May Day celebration that never came. Set to open just days after the disaster, the park instead became a symbol of shattered dreams and lost innocence. Supernatural claims and local legends as nature reclaims the city, with trees pushing through cracked concrete and wildlife roaming the empty streets. Pripyat has become the subject of numerous supernatural claims and local legends. Some visitors report hearing the laughter of children echoing through abandoned playgrounds, while others speak of shadowy figures glimpsed in the corners of decaying apartment blocks. One particularly chilling tale involves the so-called Black Bird of Chernobyl, a creature with glowing red eyes and a wingspan of 20 feet, said to have been seen in the days leading up to the disaster. Some view it as a harbinger of doom, while others dismiss it as a manifestation of collective trauma. The invisible threat, perhaps the most terrifying aspect of Pripyat, is the invisible danger that still lurks in its soil and structures. While radiation levels have decreased significantly since 1986, hot spots remain, their presence marked by the ominous clicking of Geiger counters. This unseen threat adds an extra layer of eeriness to the abandoned city, a reminder that the consequences of that fateful day continue to resonate through time. Dr. Yuri Bandashevsky, a scientist who has studied the long-term effects of the disaster, warns, the radiation is a silent killer. It doesn't announce its presence, but its effects can be devastating for generations to come. A warning for the future today, Pripyat stands as both a memorial and a warning. Guided tours bring visitors into the exclusion zone, allowing them to witness firsthand the consequences of nuclear disaster. As they walk the silent streets and peer into abandoned homes, many are struck by the fragility of human civilization, and the enduring power of nature. The story of Pripyat serves as a haunting reminder of the potential consequences of human error and technological hubris. It is a place where the past and present collide, where the ghosts of a lost future linger in the air like the invisible particles of radiation that forever changed this landscape. As we stand on the threshold of a new era of nuclear power, the whispers of Pripyat echo across time, urging us to remember, to learn, and to ensure that such a tragedy never happens again. For in the silent streets and crumbling buildings of this ghost city, we find not just a relic of the past, but a stark warning for our future. In the words of a former resident, Maria Pritsenko, who returned to visit years after the evacuation, Pripyat is no longer just a city. It's a monument to human folly and a testament to nature's resilience. It reminds us that our actions have consequences that can echo through generations. As the sun sets over the abandoned cityscape, casting long shadows across overgrown streets, one can't help but feel the weight of history and the lingering presence of those who once called this place home. Pripyat stands eternal, a city out of time, its silence broken only by the wind and the whispers of a past that refuses to be forgotten.